I can take it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the ERSCA Belly Up Sports Series. Dom Santina and David Westergreen here in the booth as we get ready to go for another round of the 2022 season here at IRP for the Yeetz 180. David, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm ready for some short track racing. We'll see if these guys can clean it up a little bit with some new rules. But other than that, you know, it's going to be 180 laps at IRP. Should be a lot of beating and banging. I wouldn't be surprised if it was real similar to last week. Or 2 weeks ago, rather.
Yeah, coming off a little bit of a break here. Maybe it's a good thing to let some of the tempers calm down from what we saw 2 weeks ago at Martinsville. It got a little hot and heated. We're ready to go here with this one. We will have Johnny Thomas joining us here eventually in the booth. Might be doing a little bit of the role Emily Harlan played last year if you are tuning back in this year from last year's broadcast. So Johnny might jump in from time to time, but we're in the middle of qualifying here, getting ready to go for qualifying and ready to see how this one will play out here tonight. David, I think you ran through it before we went live real quick. Kwame Scott is our new points leader. Is that correct?
Yep, I got the points over here. Kwame Scott's the points leader. He's up 27 on Cameron Rich. Nick and Delicato's back to third after a bit of a couple of rough weeks. Ethan Burrell is fourth, and Hank Steinmiller rounds out the top five. You know, Ethan Burrell hasn't won a race, but he's really been clicking off some consistent races. After this move back to the B car, I wonder if he's, you know, just kind of gearing up for a championship run, because I didn't even realize he was that high in points.
Yeah, I didn't either. Very quietly flying under the radar. Wow, for Ethan Burrell, and within striking distance here, especially getting back to that comfortable race car that we saw him dominate the regular season with last year. He gets one win. It might just lead to a handful of wins here in the 2022 season. Still a little bit of time here for him to make his move. But right now, Kwame Scott, not only your points leader, the only driver to go
week at Martinsville, you got to watch out for that. I wonder if there'll be payback from Damian Leininger this week. Certainly speculative, but maybe Damian's letting it go and going for the as many points as he can get tonight. Damian's back in 19th in points, so he's going to need some good work here going up towards the chase if he wants to get in. I believe we only have 4 or 5 races to go until the chase. We have this race, then Las Vegas, Michigan, Charlotte, Indianapolis, and Daytona. And then the chase begins. So certainly starting to think about that playoff picture. And some of these guys that have been really good are currently on the outside looking in, like last year's champion Ryan Lutz, as well as another chase driver from last year, Jared Mogart, currently way back in the points. Though I believe the points format right now are 2 wild cards would be Jared Mogart and Ryan Lutz, would they not? With their 2 race wins.
Let me upload the file.
Also on the outside looking in, last year chase driver James Heater. Last year chase driver Gerald Campbell. And I guess Johnny Thomas also. You're not going to be making the playoffs, are you?
Not anymore. Unless I get a win. If I win Daytona.
Yeah, you could. You've certainly won Daytona before in other series that we've run together. Johnny, take us through this new rule change that we had between these last 2 races coming off of Martinsville. What was it, and then, you know, why would that change have been made?
David, I didn't even know we were live at the moment. So,
don't worry about it, man.
I'm sorry. Yes, so thanks for having me. I'm jumping up in the booth here tonight with you guys, David and Dom and Carlos. But yeah, we had to make a pretty big rule change for this race, and then for honestly the foreseeable future until we can right the ship on this. the rule change we did make is a incident limit, an X count, and then once you get 25 X's, you're done. You're DQ'd. That is directly in effect and in turn with the racing that we've seen the last couple weeks. You know, Martinsville. Everybody always says, "Well, it's just Martinsville." You know, it's just that's just how Martinsville races. And when I went into the video reviews, and we review each and every caution after the race. I think that's something that ERSCA does really well. Is after the race we do all the video reviews, and you know, I was expecting to see a lot of racing incidents where I wasn't going to penalize guys, and we had 22 cautions, and about 16 of them were on a driver, which is disappointing. These guys, in my opinion, are some of the best guys in stock car oval, you know, league racing, and this year or this season in ERSCA, I just feel like it's the level of respect has gone way down. The etiquette of driving around your competitors is extremely low right now. So we felt like we had to make a rule. Hopefully it goes away. I told the guys, you know, if we're improving and if we're not having crash fest, then I'll take this away. And I'm sure after IRP we're going to see some good races. But these guys got to learn how to race short tracks as well, not just the mile and a halves.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. You know, I think I'm not a supporter of a rule like this because it does penalize innocent bystanders a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
And an incident limit would do that. And, you know, I don't know if you can manufacture respect is my other point on that. You know, you just have to have guys be better. And, you know, maybe maybe this will work, you know, and you said it's a temporary thing. We're certainly going to keep our eye on it throughout this race and see if anybody gets kicked out, and certainly, you know, see there's going to be guys that run into each other and guys that are caught up in stuff that wasn't their fault. And when I see that, you know, it's going to be something that comes up for sure. It's not, you know, as an innocent bystander in a number of wrecks myself, it's not something you want to have to try to work around after you're already trying to work around, you know, what seems to be a more competitive field than ever. Yeah,
and I agree. I mean, last week at Martinsville, I for me, and as an example, we never hit anybody or caused any crashes, and I had 32 X's. But you know, looking back, and me thinking, you know, what could I have done to prevent that? It's not get as greedy. It's not be around the mess that I was around. And 25 X's or 24 X's, that's 6 4X's. So that's a lot of hard contact that you're experiencing. So, you know, some of those might be on you, or you might just be that unlucky guy where you're running into literally everything. That's not your doing. So it's definitely going to come into play. It'll probably come into play tonight. Being a tight track, being a track that's predominantly one groove here at IRP. So it'll be interesting to see. This is a black and white rule, though, so there's not a whole lot of debate, you know, in my hands where a guy's going to come to me complaining. I mean, you got 25 X's done, so we'll see what happens. It should be interesting.
Yep, we'll definitely have to keep our eye on who's making that contact and who's making a lot of contact. Certainly, if you get a 4X or a 12X or something to that nature, you're going to want to drop back and you know, try to preserve, you know, the rest of your incidents just in case coming down late to the race, you don't get disqualified right at the coming to the start finish line or something. So you know, these guys are going to have to be more careful, and hopefully that we see that in the form of good racing.
I agree. It's a change. We're like I always say, you know, ERSCA's willing to change. We're willing to make advancements. We're willing to step back and take a couple step backwards. And I hope this is a positive change. Again, who knows? You know, it's all about how the guys want to race, and it's ultimately, you know, up to them. I think qualifying's all done, guys, right?
Yep, qualifying just got done, and we've got a pair of crumps on the pole. Scott is on the pole, Wesley P2. And that is awfully fun. Little family affair up front here at IRP.
Yeah, David and Dom, has the Bush brothers ever done that?
I want to. If they have it, the Labonte brothers did, or the Burton brothers maybe. Kwame Scott's third. Ethan Burrell is fourth. Couple of guys that are up there in the points. Ryan Lutz, certainly a favorite at the short tracks, is fifth. Cameron Rich sixth. Damian Leininger seventh. Jared Rexing eighth. Hank Steinmiller ninth, and Chris Worrell round out your top 10. Looking on back through the rest of the field here. Nick Massey starting in 13th. Nick Indelicato starting in 15th. Let's see, Mark Whitley will go from 22nd. I expect the 77 car to come up front. He's been pretty quick at the shorter tracks this season. And as we look kind of back through deep in the field, Josh Adams coming from deep in the field, Dylan Thomas coming from deep in the field, Pate Lytle did not set a qualifying lap. Matthew Weeks, the slowest car on qualifying time. So those Pro Edge Toyotas that are not Ethan Burrell certainly have their work cut out for them today.
Yeah, guys, and I don't know if you guys mentioned this, but we get a hard charger every week, and it looks like Weeks is the last one eligible. Tate Lytle, Kyle Hanshaw, they didn't do a lap, so they won't be eligible for that hard charger.
Go.
Well, guys, I'm excited to be up here in the booth. I told you guys I'd be up here a lot more than what I was, but I was kind of contending for a chase spot. We are sitting 17th at points, so I'm going to drop back here quite a bit, but it'll be fun up here in the booth.
Like you said, I mean, a win really changes everything when it comes to this format. With regard to the chase format coming up, we will have, the points dictate who makes it into the chase in the top 10. The race wins will help you, but only if you're high up in the points, because I think there's going to be a lot of inconsistent guys that may or may not be in the top 10 in points with race wins, such as Ryan Lutz so far this season. He has not been a consistent driver.
Yeah, we also have to mention too, I don't know if you guys have mentioned this, but Ryan Lutz's one win does not count towards the chase due to the penalty that he occurred at the end of that event. So, Lutz has got to point his way in or win a race.
Yep. So, picks. Johnny.
Oh,
give
man.
us your pick for this race.
Am
your
I
first,
allowed to pick?
the guest.
I don't know if this
The
is
guest.
allowed. Let's go with, I'm going to have to go the guy that, pretty much dominated all last week or 2 weeks ago, and Damian Leininger. I think he picks it up tonight.
Man, you stole my pick. How about that? We tend to not pick the 12 car around here, but he wanted me to pick it. Then I'll steal a pick. Give me Cameron Rich tonight.
Oh, stick with the rich.
All right, well, I'm going to take the fastest car in qualifying. I'm going with Scott Crump to get a win here up front this season.
All right, Wesley Crump, give me your best shot.
Nice.
All right. Coming to the green.
Green flag in the air, coming out of turn 4. The Crump's going to lead us to the green flag to get this one started.
Ryan Lutz already peeking underneath Kwame Scott. He's going to dive it under there for third. Scott Crump to the lead, and Ryan Lutz trying for third on Kwame Scott. Ethan Burrell falls to fifth.
Lutz has got that third position. He'll slide up in there. We'll see if he can make any more progress as we come through 3 and 4 this time. Scott Crump going to lead us first lap around here in the books at IRP.
Lutz going for second already. That 36 car on a mission early in this one. Dives under Wesley Crump. He will clear up, and Ryan Lutz out to P2. Looks a lot like the beginning of that Dover race when Ryan Lutz and Scott Crump were out front early.
Kwame Scott took a peek there entering turn 3 under Wesley Crump. One Crump starting to check out, the other one starting to back up through the field here a little bit.
Yeah, guys, for the most part, I think with new tires, that middle to bottom lane will work. But once you get, 5 to 10 laps on those tires, the top lane is going to be dominant here.
Yeah, Ryan Lutz taking advantage of this fresh tires. And we're seeing a couple of side-by-side battles. Middle of the pack, Hank Steinmiller, Chris Worrell, side-by-side for 9th. Even further back, Joe Francis working the bottom, trying to pick up a couple of positions. Ryan Lutz not closing in on Scott Crump quite like we saw at Dover. Crump might have a little something for him here. This 51 car looking very strong early.
just by talking to Scott, last week, couple weeks ago, he's putting a lot more time into ERSCA than he did, at the beginning of the year. I think he sees himself in the points way down there, and he's got to step it up if he wants to make this chase.
Yep, the race win certainly would help that. I'm a little surprised, he had been one of the more high-end competitors 2 years ago before we had kind of broadcasted with this team, and then last year we were believing Crump would be kind of a championship contender, and I don't think he even made the final 10 at the end of the season. Kwame Scott going for third on Wesley Crump. We'll see how that inside line fares.
This is going to be a hard pass to make.
What makes it tough for Scott Crump, though, is kind of we were hyping him up. We believed he was a bona fide championship contender last year, and I don't know that he was ever really on that level.
Kwame Scott makes the pass there on Crump. Cameron Rich took a look underneath Ethan Burrell in turn 2. Another battle we'll keep our eye on here that might heat up in the next couple laps.
Guys, one thing I've noticed about this season as a whole, the top 3 guys in points, Kwame, Cameron Rich, Nick and Delicado. Those are 3 guys that jump into the practice session at 8, 8:15, and they just consistently run laps. We have seen the guys that come in 5 to 10 minutes before the session opens that normally, is really successful, like Scott Crump, like Josh Adams. They are struggling mightily here this year, and I just think it's lack of track time with these guys, and with the field so talented that we have in 2022.
Yeah, it doesn't help that they run a series right beforehand, but regardless of that, Ethan Burrell has not won a race yet this season, but he is sitting 4th in points, as we've mentioned.
Having a great year.
Tate Lytle 6th in points. Those guys tend to be not able to hit practice earlier on, and we haven't seen Matthew Weeks win a race this season. A bunch of those guys, like you said, have not been contending for wins and really dominating. We've seen this season dominated by the likes of Ryan Lutz, Nick and Delicado, even Jared Rexing and Kwame Scott, guys who are not running Monday night in Elite. They're here, they're working hard, and it's showing on the racetrack. Rexing, speaking of, going after Chris Worrell, right in front of Andy Trupiano.
Yeah, Rexing got the wall a couple laps ago. It doesn't seem to affect him much because he's just trying to get past Wes. I think Wes, he's either saving his tires or he's just struggling right now. Or it's because Carlos picked him.
I think Wesley's up in 4th. I think that's Chris Worrell back there in 6th.
This is a rookie mistake here. That's Chris.
Well, it's funny because there's a lot of rookies here. I was actually kind of curious. Is there like a rookie of the year that we're going to be giving out at the end of the season?
That's that's something that we've actually never thought of, just because ERSCA is so new that the first year and the second year we couldn't really do rookies. This year we probably could. Next year I think we're definitely going to have a rookie of the year.
Yeah. Very, very interesting, because we do have a bunch of these newcomer type guys in Wesley Crump, Chris Worrell, Andy Trupiano, even Mark Whitley's been very impressive this season. So I've been really impressed with a lot of the guys who've come in and been more new this year and have been running up front. We even had a new guy win, I think, at Rockingham. James Holzer took home that win. He ended up being a COT dedicated driver, but we still had someone come in and take home a win in ERSCA, and that's pretty hard to do.
Guys, Carlos is giving us a little hint up there on the screen. Ryan Lutz is closing in. He is eating time away at Scott Crump.
Long green runs are Ryan Lutz's favorite, especially here in ERSCA, and that guy is the best at saving tires, and I wouldn't be surprised if he goes after Scott Crump for the lead here within the next couple of laps.
Well, the lead went from close to almost 0.7 of a second. Now he's got it down around 0.2 of a second. And closing as we go down the backstretch here.
Looks to me like Lutz has beaten him on corner exit. He's able to kind of drive it a little higher than Scott Crump in the center of the corner and then turn it down to the bottom exiting. Seems to be Ryan Lutz's preferred line around here, and now he's going to maybe set up the pass going into turn 3 next time through. He's just getting a much better launch on corner exit than Scott Crump is right now.
It'll be interesting to see how Scott if he's going to let him go or if he's going to hold him up. You know, Lutz seems like he's a lot quicker. Like we mentioned before, you know, the top lane's dominant, and we'll see if Lutz can maybe do a little dive bomb, a little slide job, and see if he can get him.
Now, the way this track is kind of playing out, you're going to have to, you know, pull off the kind of slide job maneuver in order to make these passes, especially on old tires. And for the first time this year, you know, I think that rule that we kind of discussed early in the broadcast is starting to show its face. We've gotten a very clean, very strung out group of cars right now, and the racing has been really clean so far. I'm pretty impressed, honestly. I kind of did not think we would see much of a difference between this and the other short tracks we've seen in the last year or so. Between like Nashville and North Wilkesboro last year, they're kind of similar to this track, and so far,
yeah,
so pretty good.
Yeah, the only, you know, difference that I would say or take away from IRP is the top being the preferred lane. You know, Wilkesboro, Martinsville, they're pretty much bottom feeders. Wilkesboro, you have a middle lane to run. I just heard a car in the wall there, so I don't know who that was, but
nothing's showing. But I did take a look down the order, and I'm seeing some big surprises that are kind of getting ready to be lapped, man. Nick Massey, 32nd right now on the grid. Matthew Weeks, 31st. Couple of guys who I would expect to be going after the race win today, way back there, and you know, nearly a lap down at this point. They're pretty much on the same straightaway as the leaders.
yeah, you got Massey, Weeks, and Robert Hill, Josh Adams. You know, those are guys that have all competed for top fives this year.
Very surprising. And up front, I think Wesley Crump might have been holding up the front group a little bit, because Cameron Rich has gone by and just shot away. Now Ethan Burrell has gotten by Wesley Crump as well, and it's brought the two Apex Sim Racing Chevys to the back bumper of Damian Leininger and Hank Steinmiller.
Guys, you guys have, you know, been streaming, broadcasting each week. I'm in the car, so I don't see it. You know, the only time that I'm looking at drivers that may surprise me is when I upload these points. For a guy, who's been surprising you for this season through 9 races?
I mentioned him a couple of times, man, but I am shocked that Mark Whitley has been up there as much as he has. You know, I kind of, you know, it's hard to tell whether or not a guy was a product of the COT car or not. And Mark Whitley would have been my guy that I was not expecting him to be kind of a force, and he's been up in the top 5 just about every race.
I think one that I think knew was capable of having some strong runs, but if you would have asked me preseason, would he be leading the way and having 3 wins, is Kwame Scott right now. I don't think I would have guessed that he would have had 3 wins on the season when we started.
Yeah, Kwame would have been my pick as well. 3 wins. You know, everybody else has 1. And if anybody's been a dominator, it's been Kwame. With 3 wins, 3 top 5s, and every time he finishes in the top 5, he wins. He's got 6 top 10s as well.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that it's been like this for Kwame Scott. You know, he was a... Hank Steinmiller gets spun by Chris Worrell, and Steinmiller's going to save it. No further damage, but definitely one of those 4Xs there on the Steinmiller car, and
hey guys, my mic is hot. I also want to point out there was a development. Tate Lytle, I believe he got disconnected, so he is going to be shown multiple laps down, but he is back on the racetrack.
Yeah, we got Tate Lytle 23 laps down, David and Dom, so looks like some connection issues there.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever got into the race. Might have Tate runs into he's teaching, so he's trying to.
I don't know who the car. Yeah, I don't know who that car in front of him. It looks like Hank wanted to stay off of him.
Yep.
And the guy to the inside, you know, had a better idea on what he wanted to do.
Damian Leininger's going around Wesley Crump there, and Crump checks up for Damian, which ends up causing Hank to move down the racetrack, and Worrell was already looking underneath Hank. And there you go. Some somewhat incidental contact, definitely product of the racing there, but certainly not.
Everyone's going down pit road.
Hank Steinmiller fan.
Well, guys, a lot of takers on pit road, except for Ethan Burrell. He's going to stay out here, and he's going to inherit the race lead.
Those guys back there that were almost a lap down, those guys have stayed out as well. Nick Massey, Matthew Weeks.
Maybe they're saving their tires. Who knows? I mean, that's a bold strategy. but we got 4 sets here in the pits. I don't know if you guys mentioned that. We got 4 sets, so all these guys have pitted, 3 left.
Yep,
Talk about the website.
Lap 30.
Somebody talk about the website.
One of the websites that one of our sponsors for tonight is shopangryduck.com. They have a collection for ERSCA gear. If you want to go to that website, shopangryduck.com, you can pick up an ERSCA t-shirt. Support the league, ERSCA hoodie.
Yeah, Angry Duck Graphics, they're not on Twitter. I try to advertise them through Facebook. They don't have a Twitter. But Angry Duck Graphics and Harpoon Designs have formed a partnership with Brantley Roden. Dom, you mentioned, or David, you actually mentioned Mark Whitley. Brantley owns that car, that 77 car. So any of the graphics you see here, Brantley has made them. We're going to get... we're going to get more shirts, and then I'm sure Brantley's watching, so he can probably get a Carlos Acosta ERSCA 3-wide TV t-shirt. It'll probably be done next week for you, Carlos.
Brantley needs a car for that. Carlos, Brantley needs a car for that. Carlos has a car sponsored in the Elite race before this race.
Maybe we'll get a paint scheme. We'll get a paint scheme made up. We'll get a t-shirt.
Well, I've got a paint scheme. I got 2.
Perfect. Slap it on there, Brantley. Brantley's watching. Brantley's awesome. Harpoon Designs. If you guys ever need a paint, feel free to send him a message.
This car, though, Mark, for whatever reason, had a really slow pit stop and is now 32nd on the track. So
I don't have a
sorry about that. Sorry about that, Brantley. Back to the race. Ethan Burrell and Jared Mogart will now be the front row. Hank Steinmiller and Cooper Johnson the second row. Josh Clark and Josh Adams the third row. All of those cars have stayed out on old tires. They will be, I believe, sitting ducks to the likes of Ryan Lutz and Scott Crump once we get up to speed here, and that difference in tires might cause a few additional yellows. We'll have to see.
Green flag back in the air, and we are underway. Ethan Burrell with a good jump there off the restart. Cooper Johnson looking to take the second position, and they're wrecking Josh Adams around. Into Ryan Lutz and Rich.
This is a big one.
I might pick this week.
Wow.
What's your problem?
Look at that. See, Carlos, I took him off your hands, and there he goes.
Look what you've done. Look what you've done to my boy.
I was interested to notice that Hank Steinmiller stayed out even with the spin.
I think he was betting on just this very thing happening, another quick yellow or two, and allowing him to get off cycle since he was probably going to be in the back anyway. Oh, right there, big net code between Clark and Adams. Ryan Lutz gets some contact in and off track. Rich gets spun around and some contact. All these guys bunching up. That's a bunch of 4Xs, counting up those incident points to, potentially kick somebody from the race later on.
I'd like to see like an aerial shot from that on if Clark sent it in there pretty hard, or Adams just didn't anticipate the speed of Clark or the braking point.
I don't feel like we're going to learn much from
Nick
that.
Massey, very lucky. Adams was right on it there and turning that wheel hard right in order to kind of break this car down. But
oh yeah, that's early braking.
Adams definitely checked up early.
Could have gave him a lot more room there too on that inside.
I noticed Rexing and Trupiano bounced off of each other. Garrett Turner has some rear damage.
It's been a struggle for Josh this year. You know, he's sitting 40th in points. That's a place where we never would have thought we'd see him at. So, big struggle.
Harold Campbell getting it woed up here. Does a good job staying off everybody.
Oh, that was the pace car, though. I was wondering that.
I'll give you guys an X count. Highest X count we got is Dylan Thomas. Carlos needs to make a graphic for this. Dylan Thomas has 8. Nobody else has more than 4.
Man. Just like that, you're already a third of the way to being removed from the race after just, what are we at, almost 40 laps?
Yep.
Wyatt Nadel's going to go a lap down here. Josh Adams is also a lap down. Delicato's way back in 30th now.
I got a request,
some damage
guys.
on the left
I don't
front
know if
as
you,
well.
If you want, but Tate has an update. I was going to send it to him to see if he could tell us what happened to him.
Yeah, bring him up.
Tate, you got a copy? It's Johnny Thomas in the booth.
Oh, I got you loud and clear.
Tate,
Loud and clear.
Looks like you're struggling out there today. What happened?
Yeah, part of it. Being a golf coach, sometimes you don't get home quite in time, but figure I'd still come in and get as many points as I can, because I'm going to miss the next 2 weeks too, which, is unfortunate because 2 of my favorite tracks, but oh well.
Well, we pull that point screen. I think you got a pretty good gap, so 2 races shouldn't be a big hit. Actually, tonight will be probably just as big as a hit as not even making it.
Yeah, I don't know. How many more races we got till the... I'm going to need a black flag clear. Why is he? Come on, get up here.
All right, Tate, good luck.
Thanks, I'm going to clear my own black flag.
Ethan Burrell with the race lead. Cooper Johnson going after second around Jared Mogart. And we'll see what the power of those fresh tires is. Ryan Lutz is the first one on those. Like I said, Tate Lytle coaching golf. Good teacher, good coach. Driver of that 56 car. Sometimes the real world responsibilities take precedence.
Tate on that west side too. 653 for him right now.
West Coast. Ryan Lutz is stuck behind Josh Clark and Nick Massey running side by side. That's allowing Ethan Burrell, Jared Mogart, Cooper Johnson, and Hank Steinmiller to drive away. Lutz now up on the outside. Ryan Lutz being very aggressive with those fresh tires, knowing that he's got the track position on Scott Crump right now. He can afford to be aggressive. It looks like the fresh tire order is currently Lutz, Crump, then Leininger, because Cameron Rich got bumped out of the way there, and Leininger looks like he's driven by Kwame Scott as well. Lutz making short work of Hank Steinmiller. He'll now go after Cooper Johnson. Both Hank and Cooper working together with Lutz over in that Apex Sim Racing voice chat.
Yeah, it looks like the guys with 4 tires or the new tires are being, really patient. Lutz has worked his way through lap traffic or old tires a little bit better than Scott has. He's got about a 2-car gap there, or 2 cars in the middle of him, so he should be able to pull away and catch him.
He just drove right around Jared Mogart. Caution waves once again. It's like Robert Hill in the 05 has bounced it around and wrecked Joe Francis in the 50.
Wesley Crump.
Oh, Wesley Crump. From outside pole to involved in the wreck here. Robert Hill was on old tires
Oh, that was
too,
my
and I wonder if we got into Joe Francis off the corner. All 3 of them go clobbering into the wall, and Wesley Crump's day might be done.
Yeah, he just radioed it on the radio that he's done. Dunzo for the day.
Oh, man.
See what happens,
Carlos,
David.
Yep, you forced Carlos out of his comfort zone there, and looks like the contact had started further up between the 0-2 and the 50, and it kind of accordioned back into Robert Hill and the other one who spun, Wesley Crump. Francis is going to have a bunch of damage too. So Burrell comes to pit road. So does Jared Mogart. That gives the lead to Ryan Lutz and his fresh tires. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, Seth just squeezed the crap out of Joe there.
Yep. And that's a lot of incident points and one retiree that have, come from a guy who maybe got away scot-free there. Maybe he only got a 2X or something like that. So tough break for everybody behind. And you never know. We're just paying attention to the rule here and seeing how it operates, especially on this newer track. But I don't know. That one, it seems like it might have missed where it was supposed to penalize, if you know what I mean.
Not clear.
Not clear. Jared Rexon gets very lucky in this. Whew. It's one. Everybody goes to the inside, and Rexon sneaks away scot-free on the top of him. Bunch of Apex Sim Racing drivers up front right now. It's Ryan Lutz, Cooper Johnson, Scott Crumps, Hank Steinmiller, and Damian Leininger in the top 5.
A guy that struggled early on this year that have put together, a couple good races that, sitting 13th in points is Cooper Johnson, and right now he's having a good run as well.
Yeah, my favorite part of the season was when I said Cooper Johnson's probably not even in the race, and I think he was like 10th at that point at Auto Club, and I was like, man, he didn't even make the race. Cooper's had a really strong season. He's definitely one of the kind of dark horses, I think, to maybe get up into the top 5 and top 10. He had a really good run at Dover a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, if Cooper can squeeze himself into that chase, he'll be one of the. There's not too many. You mentioned rookie drivers. Not too many rookie drivers in the top 10. You got Mark, and I'm going through the list here, and I don't really see anybody else. Well, Seth Rawls. He's new to the series this year, so.
Trupiano's in there too. At least Trupiano's been strong and been on the cusp of it. I think he's maybe 13.
Actually, Trupiano's fell back in the points. Yep.
He's down now. Yep, he's down to 22nd. See how quickly it can change. I think it wasn't just a couple of weeks ago. Trupiano was up there battling for the top 10. Now way down.
The points are extremely close. Not so much up front, but when you're looking at, let's just say Seth Rawls down into where Trupiano is in 22nd, it's tight.
Yep. So 1 to green here. I re-racked the top 5 for you. Chris Worrell is 6th. Nick Massey and Kwame Scott, pair of Rubbins Racing teammates there in 7th and 8th. Trupiano 9th and Seth Rawls 10th. We were talking about both of them. They are both right inside the top 10, and I believe they both have tires. I think Trupiano might have stayed out. Base car is in.
Going back to green here. We'll see if Scott Crump can be aggressive off this restart. Try to get back around Ryan Lutz. Nope, and we're going to wave it off.
Yeah, they're extending the caution. There's some guys that need EOLs that didn't get caught up, so we're going to extend it one more lap.
Yep, Johnny Eckert, the race control for us, and always doing a great job.
Johnny is the man.
He is. He'd much rather get that restart right than have some guys begging for EOLs while the racing is going on. Your black flag clears or whatnot. Johnny, I'm interested to see if your pick here can get up here into the top 3 and see what he's got for his teammate.
Yeah, I think Damian's on fresh tires, right?
Yep.
So
here we go.
Be able to at least get a couple spots.
There goes Ryan Lutz.
Yeah, good start from him.
That guy can get going about as good as anybody I've seen on this this game, man.
Ron
he is
Hornaday
so good.
Yep.
Just gets going better than everybody else. Crump and Cooper Johnson side by side, close. Cooper with the preferred line, Crump with the fresh tires.
It's going to open the door for Damian Leininger there, too. He's sneaking under Cooper Johnson right now.
And Leininger will clear Cooper Johnson. Chris Worrell through to 4th. I believe the 06 is on tires as well.
Yeah, you got to make them precious work.
Hank Steinmiller and Cooper Johnson just rolling to the top side right now, just trying to hold on. Nick Masty's trapped on the bottom.
Kwame Scott coming over for a top 5 spot right here on Cooper Johnson.
Yep, and I think those guys. Oh, I think Cooper might have got the wall there entering the corner. They were giving Kwame a rough go of it, probably somewhat in retaliation for their teammate getting wrecked last week. Those two guys on old tires are stacking up the field. If you're both on old tires and you're both side by side, no one can go around you.
There's nothing better.
Ooh, contact between Rawls and Cooper.
Yeah, it's whoever's going to be impatient. Looks like Rawls wants to get by. I would just stay up in that high side.
And while this is all going on, Chris Worrell going after Damian Leininger, unable to get it done.
Here he comes. He's going to look again out of 2. Can't quite get the run. Will slide back up. Leininger will hold the spot down the backstretch.
I think Damian's maybe saving his stuff a little bit right now, trying to keep it nice and steady, and the 06 is wanting to go. And there's Damian Leininger's best friend right behind Chris Worrell and Kwame Scott.
I'm watching that mess back there with Cooper Johnson and Hank Steinmiller, and these guys are having a tough time getting by him.
Ethan Burrell went in and got tires that time.
Look at
I don't
that
know if we
pack.
mentioned it. He is already back up to 13th on the grid. 37 car is tearing through this field.
Battle for 4th. Kwame Scott under Chris Worrell down the backstretch. He's got it into 4th. Goes Scott.
Here we go. I'm very interested to see if the 99 runs down the 12. What happens there?
I think if I'm the 99, I'm going to be very, very
Ooh,
patient.
contact. Garen Turner was one. I think the other one was Matthew Weeks there.
Oh, Crump just closed real close to Ryan Lutz there through 3 and 4.
Yep,
Got
Scott
to his
Crump.
back bumper.
Scott Crump now the aggressor in the Crump versus Lutz battle. Lutz the leader. Well, we've seen Lutz do this though, where he kind of allows guys to get close to him just so he can watch them struggle while he pulls away.
Yeah. And you guys saw it on the early run, the first part of the race where Scott did pull away. So I think Scott has a little bit better short run car, which may turn into a positive if we get, a 10, 15 lap run at the end of the race. But I think Lutz is going to pull them, once they get 20, 30 laps in the tires.
I think the other thing too, guys, is Crump might be using up his tires a little bit more. It looks like he's driving deeper, harder into the corner, trying to close in on Lutz, where Lutz is probably saving those tires a little bit.
Yep. That's kind of how Lutz was winning the battle there in that longer run. He was winning the battle off the corner. So I'm sure that Crump's gaining that advantage entering the corner, Lutz gaining it pulling out of the corner.
Yeah, you mentioned Lutz being great on the restarts, great on starts in general, but he's one of the best at saving tires each and every week.
Yeah, it's tough when one of those guys exists where he's good on short runs, he's good on long runs, he's good on saving tires, he's good at leaving, he's good at restarts. How do you beat him? Well, you got to let him beat himself.
Yep. Oh, we got a record. Steinmiller's in the wall. I think everybody saved it. I was waiting for him to get turned. I think somebody did get into him finally.
Yep.
Everybody
battle
saved
for the lead
it.
is going on.
There.
That's a bunch of incident points towards those guys kind of in the middle of the back of the field. Up front, though.
Crump had a look there out of 4. Now he's lost a little ground to Lutz, and watching that battle for 3rd place too as Scott closes in on Leininger.
Yep, very interested to see what the 12 car does here. He told me he wouldn't give him any room. I don't know if he's gonna do any particular revenge per se, but at this point both of those guys need strong finishes to work their way towards the chase. Damian, the 3rd place run would do wonders for that 12 car right now.
Crump taking a peek again here in 3. See if he can get a run out of 4. Not quite enough. Lutz will lead another lap here as they head back into 1 and 2.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Dom, maybe Johnny, but Scott Crump was one of the featured, maybe not antagonists, that's the wrong word, but featured rivalries at the short tracks last season. He was making some enemies, running into people. I think he and Chris Wright might have gotten into it a good bit. And from what I've seen from Scott, at least the last couple of weeks at these short tracks, he's been nothing but one of the more clean guys out there. I know last week he got run over a couple of times.
For sure. I've seen it all this year from Scott where, it hasn't been his doing. Scott, a lot of times, the last couple of years, kind of did a lot of the stuff to himself. This year, and he's been more successful last year and the year before when he did that. But this year, he's been clean. and he just hasn't been getting the breaks. You know, if he comes here and wins the race, he'll be set though. So I've enjoyed watching Scott this year. I think he's not so much upped his game, but he's been a really, really respectful driver throughout these first 9.
Guys, we have a 5th car to the battle now. Chris Burrell has caught them as they've kind of been stuck together here. So 5 cars that now are going to come nose to tail and under a blanket here as Leininger has caught Crump and Lutz as they've been kind of back and forth at each other.
Yep, the Lutz is almost holding up this other group, although I wonder if their pace just hasn't picked up a little bit naturally from, you know, judging off of Lutz's pace and running behind him. They just haven't been able to kind of adopt what he's doing a little bit. And I think Damien certainly has got the teamwork going on right now. He's doing exactly what Lutz is doing, except not right there as he tries to go after Scott Crump. But Damien's car is kind of floating through the center of the corner, drifting to the top and then driving hard down off the corner, utilizing that good rear grip that he's acquired by not overdriving the car early in the run.
I wonder if Damien's almost thinking that it's time to go a little bit here, because you saw him drive aggressive into that corner a little bit. Now he's pulled away from Kwame Scott, so he might have picked up the pace himself just a touch.
I don't know if Damien's picked up the pace so much as that he's been running the save tire line anyway. So I think that 12 car is just naturally getting a little bit faster compared to those around it because it's got that the fresher saved tires. Also, we're coming up on halfway in this race. Lap 70, only about 20 laps to go until halfway, and that is a bonus point and points for everybody in the top 10. So these guys battling it out for additional championship points to try to, as we've kind of addressed, get those chase spots. Points are huge for Ryan Lutz. He's outside right now. Damian Leininger, Scott Crump, Burrell, they're all outside the top 10 right now. And Kwame Scott obviously wants him to pad his lead.
Kyle Hanshaw.
Sorry, Dom.
No, go ahead. Kyle Hanshaw's been having some troubles here. I've seen him on pit road a couple times, and he just went another lap down there. Got out of the way of the leaders, but they blew by him there on the outside just about a lap ago.
Yeah, he's had some major connection issues tonight. I've been talking to him throughout the race.
Yeah. So tough break for Hanshaw and Tate both. I think both of them ended up in the race a little bit late. You know, it's just part of racing at this point.
The 7 car in the top 5 is having a good run. I don't know if you guys know too much about Chris, but he's had some tough luck. He's one of the best league racers, sim racers that I've actually gone up against, and he's just had some bad luck. He's put himself in some bad positions as well, but he's with the Flying Aces group, which they have a great YouTube channel as well, and put on some good races. So Chris knows how to get around these tracks. You just got to find some good luck.
Guys, just like that, Lutz and Crump have pulled back away from those 3 cars in 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Yep. And speaking of guys who know how to get around and are starting to move forward, Ethan Burrell is 6th. He's cleared the whole pack, and he is now running down Chris Worrell, Kwame Scott, and Damian Leininger.
Only 3 seconds back, too, David.
That's your 4th in points right there, Ethan Burrell. And I've been waiting for a good Ethan Burrell race where he, picks the right strategy and ends up saving his tires and working his way to the front. It seems like this could be his type of race where he ended up with a couple of extra laps, fresher tires than the rest of these guys up front due to him staying out. That might be, one of those things that could potentially snag him a win. Staying out has not worked out for Cooper Johnson and Hank Steinmiller. They were at the back end of the top 10. They are now in 18th and 19th.
I'm looking at guys, too, that have either rebounded from that accident, that big wreck, or have struggled. Josh Adams, 2 laps down. Cameron Rich, after getting involved in an accident, is up to 16th. Started 6th, got in the wreck. Now he's back up to 16th, so he's putting together a decent run for what he's had so far.
That guy is...
We got somebody blown up there.
That guy, it's Wesley Crump, and that guy is as good as anybody Cameron Rich is at recovering. I believe that he finished 3rd at Richmond after getting wadded up in several of those wrecks early in the race, and he ended up coming back, and I think he almost won the race, finished 2nd or 3rd.
Cam wasn't too happy. He was down in the dumps there, and he rebounded through that craziness, ended up top 5.
So that guy can come back. That's for sure. And it's not over for Cameron Rich. Ethan Burrell already went to the back and came all the way back through the front. Certainly feasible for these faster cars. Ryan Lutz has just kind of held Scott Crump at bay. Damian Leininger has, I think he heated up his tires right when we started talking about him. He got to the back bumper of the 51. I think he started overdriving it a little bit. He's had to get back into the rhythm, but it gave up that advantage that he had built by running the way he had been running beforehand. Now Kwame Scott's looking underneath him.
We're going to get into heavy lap traffic here in the next couple of laps, guys. It's going to be interesting here to see if maybe Crump or Leininger can make up some time by dealing with this lap traffic coming up.
I hope we get lap traffic. When was the last time we've seen lap traffic in a short track in a league race? It has just been so long. But fingers crossed.
Shockingly, one of those lapped cars that might be on verge of heading a lap down is Nick Massey. He tried to stay out on that last caution, and he has fallen all the way back to 26th.
Josh Adams is going to be the first one up here that they will encounter. And we are inside now 10 laps till that halfway point.
Yep, the battle is for fourth. Worrell going after Kwame Scott. Damian has fallen way off the back bumper of Scott Crump here.
Couple shout outs too. Dallas Myhan started 29th, worked his way up to 15th. Right now he'd be the hard charger. Same with Mark Whitley, starting 22nd. He's up to 9th.
Yep, been talking about him a couple of times today. That 77 car has been really strong this year.
Guys, this is going to be interesting here as Lutz goes by Adams. It's not only going to be, like I said, it's going to be heavy lap traffic. You got 4 guys battling it out here
Lutz
for
almost
positions.
shot in the wall there. Actually, I think he did.
He did. He got into it. Ryan Lutz is, that's like I said, it's the only way you can beat Ryan Lutz. He's very good at this, but he can get a little aggressive. He didn't need to pressure Josh Adams, dive underneath him. He could have waited, let Josh go to the bottom on one of the straightaways, but he shot it underneath Josh, got over aggressive, got into the corner a little too hard, and bounced it off the wall.
Gonna do it on Richard here too. Richard lets him go.
Richard Hines, 87 car.
Cleanest
Next up,
guy in the
Dylan
field
Thomas.
right there.
Next up's Dylan Thomas. The 03, who I think as of our last count had the most incidents.
He still does. I don't know where he's getting them either, David. He's got 14. I haven't seen him in a wreck.
He's been hanging out with Oprah.
Leininger gets around Hines, and he'll go after Adams next. Yeah, lap traffic at a short track. When was the last time you saw it?
Ever. I've never seen it.
Not at iRacing, that's for sure. These guys have definitely put together a couple of long green flag runs. Dylan just about got the ball right in front of Lutz.
I think he might have. It was pretty
Man,
close.
That's probably where he's getting them incident points, Johnny. He's driving it in a little too hard.
Laying
and
on the
bouncing it off
wall.
the wall. Yeah.
Watch out, Ryan.
He let him go, dropped to the bottom, let his teammate by. Joe Francis, the next one up. He's been into the inside wall with heavy contact in that last incident.
Lutz has been lucky here. These guys were battling pretty heavy before he got to him, and then they've kind of single filed out here. But eventually, I think that's going to come to an end, and he's going to have to find some patience to get around these guys.
Ryan Lutz, find patience?
Yeah, that's going to be hard to make the bottom work here. I mean, look at this train up top. If
Lutz
I'm
has
Scott
got
Crump, I'm licking my chops.
Lutz has got to be careful here because we're coming up on the halfway point, and if he gets caught up behind somebody going slow, Crump takes the lead, lose that halfway chase point.
That is Nick Massey right in front of him here on that bottom line, and you got to believe Nick's not going to let Ryan go too easy.
It's tight.
You
3 line.
gotta be careful here, Ryan. Man.
Ryan Lutz bounces off of Massey. He's going to make it through, though. Robert Hill kind of holding Lutz up here. Scott Crump down to the bottom.
Massey underneath, a tight move, going to thread the needle and make it through.
Ryan Lutz, that was a master class of driving through lap traffic right there.
Massey could have made that really hard on Ryan. He chose not to.
Yep. No, Nick's a pretty good guy, good driver, and somebody you like to run around. So right now, Scott Crump's getting all the wrath of the lap traffic at this point, and it's bringing Damian Leininger back to the back bumper of the 51.
Yeah, Scott's like, Nick, what did I do to you? Just let me go.
Yep, and here comes Damian. That battle for seconds might heat up here. Chris Worrell's in it now, and man, look at this. Lead lap cars on the bottom, lap cars on the top. It's the inverse of the old way of restarting the race.
And Ryan was aggressive there and made it work. Scott, not so much. You see him get caught up there. And I think Ryan knew he had to go because Scott was starting to come on the bottom and take a peek there to make an aggressive move to try to steal that race lead, but it backfired on him, and now he's got quite a bit of ground to make up.
Yep. There it is. That's the halfway lap. Ryan Lutz is going to get that first point. Second point to Scott Crump. Damian Leininger, 1st through 10th to get points right there. And a chase point to the leader, I believe.
Yeah, that's good for all 3 of those guys.
Yep, huge for, I think all of them are outside the top 13 or so in points, so big. Ethan Burrell picked up points from 4th. He'll be able to pick up some on Indelicato and some of those other guys that are up there with him. Now Crump's in behind Damian's teammate, so we'll see if Hank Steinmiller holds up Scott Crump at all here.
Oh, bad news.
No. Kwame bounced off of Robert Hill, and Hank Steinmiller is going to pit road.
Bad news for Scott Crump right now is he's still battling with a couple cars there back in lap traffic, and for a little bit at least, Ryan Lutz has got some clean racetrack out in front of him.
Are we gonna see green flag pit stops?
Yeah, the 7 car got around, or the 06, I'm sorry, the 06 got around Kwame, so he's up to 4th.
So that contact, I think it was between Kwame and Robert Hill. Cooper Johnson, Michael Goodman around Damian Leininger right now. It's the kind of the lapped car battle. All 3 of those guys team cars.
Well, David, you asked for it. When would you expect them to come now that we've actually hit halfway and we're into the second half of this race?
Oh, you run it dry, man. You run it dry. The potential for a caution is way too high. You do not want to have to come to the road under green. But that's certainly an option right now because, well, I say that also looking at this pack of like 10 cars, a double wide side by side.
Nobody should be pitting right now.
We shouldn't be expecting green flag pit stops, I don't think.
Ooh, Massey's in the wall a little bit.
This is maybe the worst race I've seen from Nick Massey in some time. That guy is a guy I expect to be in the top 5, top 10 every week. He's just not had it for him today. Might have gotten early damage or something that we didn't see. This is very unexpected.
All right, Scott Crump has gotten out of the lap traffic now. They've got some breathing room. Good to relax for a few seconds here while they chase down more lap cars up ahead.
Yeah, I thought Lutz would have pulled Crump a little bit more, but he's only about a second and a half ahead of him.
Yep, the gap widened from, a couple of car lengths to a second and a half, though. I think Crump's starting to run him down, though. It just went from 1.5 to 1.35, so. Yeah,
he's closing in. It's down under 1.2 right now, but as they come down the backstretch, Lutz will expand that just a little bit more.
And up to 20th place has been lapped, by the way, so everybody 21st on back is 1 lap down.
Oh, he's really getting on him.
Yeah,
what would be interesting.
Crump is really coming. He's cut it under a second now.
Yes, he is.
Wonder if those moves and kind of the way Lutz was driving in that lap traffic didn't heat up his tires a little bit and kind of maybe damage them to the point that he's not got that same bite off the corner that he had before. That, or he's not really all that excited about getting to another group of lapped cars, and he'd rather just run a little bit of a slower pace here while Scott is bearing down trying to get back to him. That might be the case as well.
Yeah, they've gotten all the way up to 21st place, so Garen Turner, last car in the lead lap.
Yep, Matthew Weeks now on the verge of going a lap down. Josh Clark, my hand, like you were talking about earlier. All guys who are right here on the back end of the lead lap, and Crump is there, man. He has come from way back.
1.3 seconds, and only 5 laps ago.
Scott Crump definitely turning up the wick here.
Damn!
And it's all on corner entry, man. He is really sending it into the corner and he's not getting as near as good a drive off as Ryan Lutz, but that
Cooper
corner
Johnson
entry is
issue.
where he's picking up so much ground, and never mind.
Caution.
Just after we had hit 100 laps into this one.
Cooper Johnson with old tires spins out. He had gone a lap down. Take a look at the replay here. And oh yeah, that 14 was loose on exit. It's like Robert Hill's going to pick up a bunch of additional incident points. That might be all she wrote for the 05. Cars who pitted, Nick Massey, Joe Francis, Hank Steinmiller, they're all going to be trapped 2 laps down.
Yeah. Cooper was struggling there on old tires.
Dude, they come down pit road, everybody's coming. And I think you'll see some guys take the wave around that have already pitted, like Steinmiller, and some of those guys are going to get a lucky dog. I believe Zishan Duro will be the lucky dog in the 10 car. And everybody hitting pit road this time. This might be their last time going down pit road, though. I think if I was out there, I certainly would not be coming back in. A couple of guys trying to get a tire advantage here. Gerald Campbell staying out. Matthew Bayuk staying out in the 29 car.
That's a crazy long run to stay out.
Pit, yeah.
Unless they
might be coming down. Yeah, they might be coming down this time. Gerald is on pit road this time.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I think they were just trying to make sure they got caught up, didn't end up a lap down. Off pit road, Scott Crump beat Ryan Lutz off. So that's a
can't say it like that.
Pit road, that is. Beat him off pit road.
I'm looking at X's 2. Looks like Wyatt has 16. He's the leader in the clubhouse. Dylan Thomas with 14.
Wyatt got picked up, I think, a 4X from Cooper getting, next to him and getting sideways in that last incident as well.
Our leaders, Lutz has 4. Scott has 0. Damien has 0 as well, so not bad for them. Also, if you get a 0X, you get 3 bonus points as well. So those guys are looking at that.
At least Crump and Damien are, and that's 2 guys who would definitely like those extra bonus points. But big for Scott Crump to get the lead back here around Ryan Lutz, because it seems like whoever's been the race leader has been able to hold it regardless of the speed of the guy behind them. And I kind of envision that that's the last time these guys are going to hit pit road. They may just leave it out, unless we get a 40, 50 lap green flag run here, but I tend to believe that cautions breed cautions, and this might be they might get a little aggressive here. We're just after halfway. We shouldn't be too aggressive. There's a lot of race to go.
I don't know. We've been pretty good today. I am very well surprised.
How about I think we got another lap under caution. You guys want to dial somebody up? Want to get Damien in here?
Go for it.
Oh no, we can't do Damien. He'll be cursed.
That's a jinx.
Yeah, he'll be instantly jinxed. We already tried picking him.
Let's bring Ethan up. He had a challenge there.
There we go.
Hey, Ethan, it's Johnny in the old 3Y TV booth. You got me.
Make it quick.
Yeah, how we doing, buddy?
How you doing, man? What a run there, that 80-lap run. I know we're getting ready to go green, but you went from, about 25th to 6th there. So what do you got for him?
We're wheeling, man. We're sending sliders. We're trying to go get this win, chase down that 36.
That's right. Good luck.
Thank you.
Great start for Scott Crump. The one who's kind of in the sucker hole here is Damian Leininger. Can he get back around Chris Worrell? And Burrell will get around Kwame Scott for 5th.
Yeah, Damian's got to send it here. He can't quite do it, though.
Oh, there it is. Ooh, man. Almost got in the back of his teammate.
There he goes.
Damian's going to clear Worrell here. Yep, got him entering turn 1. Ooh, Kwame Scott in the wall. That's your points leader. And it might be his 8th X.
Jared Mogart, a guy we haven't mentioned at all today, sitting in 7th.
That's the Daytona winner, Jared Mogart, as well. He's, I believe, in the chase based on that win. He's not in the top 10 in points. And he was a guy who pointed his way in last year. back of Worrell. Worrell all over the back of Leininger. Just nowhere for anybody really to go right now. It's very single file for that first 8 or so. Mark Whitley going after Andy Trupiano for that 8th spot.
You know, besides the restart where you can make ground up and make passes, the only time we pretty much saw guys making their way through the field is when we hit that lap traffic.
Unless there's a tire advantage. That was the other way
Yes.
that it happened with Ethan Burrell getting his way through the field. He had about a 5 to 10 lap tire advantage and was able to just pick apart the whole back half of the field. Made it up to 6th in maybe 10 or 15 laps.
Would be interesting though to see it reverse directions here though. See if Scott Crump has to navigate through the traffic first, and let's see if Lutz could pick his way through and pull an advantage like Crump did. As we have a battle for third
Burrell's
in the wall. They're gonna stack him
There
up.
goes Leininger.
Damn, man, that's...
I think everybody's gonna save it.
Damien's
Ow!
off the track. It should have been a caution. Leininger got sideways and off the track, but he buckled it down. Chris Worrell tried to throw basically a slide job on the 12 car there and did not. He just completely overcooked the corner.
Dang.
Did Damien an innocent bystander? Kwame Scott an innocent bystander in this one? And we didn't even bring him up and he got cursed.
I was wondering, did Damien let off there a little bit and Ethan give him a little shot from behind and that got him loose? Looked like he had some rear end damage there and
Caution!
kind of
We got a
Caution!
caution.
rear end.
There's a big
Garen
wreck
Turner.
if you saw the car pitting.
And I think Leininger's gonna make it through there. But he might as well go get tires now. Now you're already back in the field. Chris Worrell does not get the good luck there by staying out. Looks like Goodman gets into Garen Turner right there, and Cooper Johnson in the wall. Is that
Seth
Bayou Rawls?
Yeah, it looks like
Got a
Garen
piece
just
of it?
kept on coming down on the 30.
Goodman ran the middle lane, was dedicated to it the whole time. And Garen came off the wall right into the
Yeah.
right front corner of it.
Who was that? Was that Seth there that got in that too?
0-2. It's a tough break for Michael Goodman. He was running in the lucky dog spot.
I mean, if you're Garen, if you're running that line, you know, the whole entire race, you got to be aware that the guy's inside of you, even if you do diamond it like that.
And yeah, it's going to cost Michael Goodman a chance at getting back on the lead lap here. So he certainly wasn't trying to wreck somebody, you know.
No.
Just a
Well, we
Bad
got
move there.
three guys with 16 X's. We got Cooper, Garen, and Wyatt.
How about we talk to one of them?
those. Do it.
See what their
Alright, see if
strategy
there's-
is now.
Only one lead lap car hit pit road, by the way, and that was the 12 of Damian Leininger.
You guys can drag somebody up. I've been doing all the interviews. You're more than happy. I'm the new guy.
Mr. Cooper Johnson. Should we? He's a lap down. Are they
Let's
all
do it.
lap down? They're all lap down. All right,
He's
Cooper
had some
Johnson.
struggles.
Cooper, it's David in the TV booth. You got me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Seems like it's been a little bit of a difficult day for you out there, Cooper. You know, take us through that pit strategy call there that seemed like it went right before the long green flag run.
Well, the idea was, I mean, we're stuck back in, you know, the mid to early 20s. You know, we're trying to make up as much time as you can, and it's so difficult to pass here because everyone's running the top side. So you flip a coin and you say, well, you know, do you stay out or do you come in? And so we chose to stay out there. And I tried this in the past, you know, in past races that we've had here, and just because of how hard it is to pass, we figured maybe it might work. You know, maybe cautions breed cautions. We might get lucky and maybe get some stage points, but it did not work out. You know, me and Hank both stayed out there, and you know, we kind of got stuck there. And my tires were down to the 20s, so it was rough there, especially at the end of that run.
And, you know, we know there's the new incident point rule here, and you're currently tied for the lead in the lobby. I think only one of those really you're kind of doing, but, you know, what's your kind of plan to avoid further incidents in the rest of the race?
I'm, you know, kind of trying to back off and just stay away from everybody at this point. You know, I'm back to 22nd again, and you know, I'm kind of getting. I made up so much time over the last, or not time, but so many points over the last so many weeks, trying to get close to that chase cutoff, and this is definitely going to hurt. But at this point, we're just trying to get to the end of this thing and hopefully not get another point against us in that and get suspended here, because we're on the verge of getting suspended if we get another point against us here.
Yep. Cooper, and hopefully you stay clean out there, man.
Thank you, guys.
Nice look into the mindset of somebody who's at risk of getting booted from the race via the new rule.
Absolutely. A couple of guys to mention here that have snuck their way up in here after having a rough start. Cameron Rich in 6th, Nick and Delicato in 8th.
How about that? Delicato's kind of been quiet today. Crump and Lutz went at almost exactly the same time. Lutz is going to have a really good shot at getting the lead here in turn 1. Oh, couldn't clear Scott Crump.
He's going to get a pretty good run off it too, though.
He's going to dive it down in there. Can Ryan Lutz clear Scott Crump? Crump not giving him any room up top. They get into each other a little bit. Scott Crump clears Lutz back for the lead. Here comes Ethan Burrell.
Guys, while you were looking at that, it was 3 wide. Whitley and Delicato, and I believe maybe Rexing in there, or Trupiano. Somehow they all got out of there together, single file, and didn't wreck each other.
Delicato's now 6th. Whitley 7th. Kwame Scott's back up to 8th. He's under fire from Trupiano.
Cameron Rich is coming after Mogart for 4th.
What?
Cameron Rich.
Yeah,
Hey,
what a
Carlos,
comeback for Cam.
Who picked Cameron Rich?
Grrr.
Certainly stuck in a battle right now, and those top 3 are pulling away from that 47 car, but he will clear Mogart this time, entering 3.
Mogart coming back underneath here.
All this behind Crump, Lutz, Burrell, the top 3.
Ethan's put himself in a pretty good position here, riding around in 3rd, seeing what Scott and Ryan will do.
Yep, and that's kind of Ethan Burrell's game. He'll let him fight it out for the win.
Uh-oh, something's wrong with Crump.
Scott Crump got loose off turn 4. Oh, they're wrecking in the back.
No, he's come to a
taken out.
stop. There's something wrong with the 51.
He's gone.
Options out, and Scott Crump is gone. Wow.
Yeah, he's in the pits, guys.
He just pulled off.
Maybe a hardware issue?
Maybe hardware, maybe a pet jumped in there and got in his way. Monitor might have flicked off. Just like that, one of our dominant cars of the day on pit road with problems, and it caused a wreck in the back. People started checking up for it.
Engine was running
when
he pulled over.
Yep.
I mean, the exit of Scott was completely fine. It shouldn't have warranted anybody crashing. See what happened. I don't even know what happened.
Somebody stacked it up into Damien. I don't remember who did. Right there. 29?
Dallas?
Bayou, maybe? Might have been Dallas. No, it was Dallas, yeah. The black Mohawk car. That was an impressive save there by the 12 to get around it. And if he had spun that thing to the left, he would have clobbered right into the stopped Scott Crump car.
Looked like 26 just kept on coming down.
Same thing there. That guy's got fresh tires. You've seen him. He drove back. He drove all the way up to your bumper from way back. Jared Mogart pitted. Josh Clark is also pitted. Matthew Weeks has also pitted. And Michael Goodman finally got back in the lead lap after that caution. Cooper Johnson's now the first car 1 lap down, by the way.
Goody!
Should we bring Goody up here?
Yeah,
we never bring Goody up here. We never get a chance to, and I told him we would.
He's having a solid run today.
Yeah.
Let's jinx him.
Lucky dog Michael Goodman. It's David in the booth. You got me?
I gotcha.
How's your mom?
I told you we would get you up in the booth. had to reunite you with Carlos. How you doing there?
Not too bad. Got a little damage. You know, had a little short track incidents going on here, but back on the lead lap and see what we got here.
Carlos, you got any questions for your buddy?
Yeah, why are you not leading? You always tell me on Thursdays how you do a much better job than everybody else.
Yeah, you know, I'm just trying to give someone else a chance to win today, and I'm glad these guys are having fun up front.
You sound like me when you interview me, Goody.
Love it. I love it.
How many incident points do you have?
I have 6, and most of them came on that last me and the 20 getting together. Felt bad about that. Didn't mean to do that, but just kind of a product of short track racing.
It's worth, Goody. We pinned that on the guy on the outside coming off the wall, not you driving your line in the middle. So.
Yeah, I'll take it.
at least from our view. But we're glad that you got back in the lead lap, man. You've been running a good race.
Yeah, it's for once, so it feels pretty good having a chance here.
All right, man. Well, 1 to go, so good luck the rest of the way, Goody.
Yep, thank you.
All right. Ethan Burrell going to start on the inside line this time, front row.
Cameron Rich starting 3rd. Mark Whitley's up to 4th.
Got some new faces up here.
I wonder if any of these guys have any speed and any shot at Ryan Lutz. Track position could be all they need.
Talking about another guy that needs a really solid run. Look who's starting in 8th, James Heater.
Wow, man, we haven't heard about Heater at all. Here we go. Ryan Lutz up top. He's going to go real early. That tends to be Lutz's calling card on these restarts. There he goes.
Yeah, Whitley did not get a good start.
He got real good. He went up alongside Burrell. He's going to clear Cameron Rich, move Whitley to 3rd. He might be able to get 2nd on Burrell.
Burrell going to put him up there on the high side.
Dude.
Tommy Scott gets in Delicato for 5th.
Burrell might lose 3rd here to Rich, too. Rich looking to the outside.
Burrell slams it up in there behind Mark Whitley. He'll keep that 3rd spot for now. Cameron had really high.
Rich in the wall.
Fence.
Going to open the door for Scott here.
Yeah, I thought Mark was struggling on the restart. I think just Ryan got such a good start.
Yeah, Ryan Lutz. That's a Ryan Lutz start for you right there. He jumps out, just gets away. We've seen it for 2 years now, and when he has the lead on these restarts, it's very difficult for anybody to stick with him. And, even when we saw Lutz starting 2nd behind Scott Crump, he was able to maintain with Crump and pull out the lead.
Whitley's closed back in, though.
Battle is for, what, 9th? 9th spot. Damian Leininger going after James Heater. Fresher tires on that 12 car by a few laps. Might be all the advantage he needs if he can get up through the field.
Whitley staying with Lutz. Doing a good job. Same with Ethan.
Though that's a Ryan Lutz trademark move. Is never pull away. Let him stick with you for a little bit. Yeah, he just lets him stick with him.
Kwame Scott under Cameron Rich for 4th.
Cameron Rich lets Kwame go there. I think Kwame might have gotten into him a little bit.
Yeah, might have traded paint there just a little bit. Nick and Delicato right there behind him as well.
Going after Rexing. That's for 8th place. Mogart is back up here in 11th. He also has fresh tires. I think Josh Clark might as well in 12th. For what it's worth, Clark had the fastest lap in practice. Might have said it early on in practice or something to that effect. Matthew Baye going after Leininger now.
Burrell is loose, guys. Really loose, especially exiting turn 4.
Wonder if we get another caution, if Ethan doesn't try to pit and drive his way through the field again.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of guys right side tires turning out on him. So the guys are fighting loose conditions, which that wasn't something that we saw in practice.
Leininger does pin it up to the top. Mogart underneath Bayou. He'll clear for, I believe that's 11th place. Might be 10th now. Mogart into 10th. Leininger into 9th. Mogart has the freshest tires.
Trupiano just went by Rexing for 7th.
That battle among the tires is interesting, but up front it's all Ryan Lutz. He's pulled out to half a second over Mark Whitley now. Mogart going after Leininger once again back there in the field. First battle of side by side. Wonder if those guys, the 12, the 00, the 28, they might have rubbed the good off of those tires, kind of fighting through the field.
Yeah, you see Josh Clark, Matthew Weeks, they were, you know, on the verge of getting lapped. They worked their way up to 12th and 13th.
Ooh, Damien hit the wall.
Almost in that
that
Mogart.
spot. Yeah, losing that spot to Mogart now. Just got to regroup when that happens. But it is going to make that car significantly tighter. More difficult to drive. He'll have to drive lower, and it won't have that same bite coming off the corner. Seems like a lot of these guys have some damage, though. We've seen a number of cars hit the wall.
I've been trying to get an update on what happened to Scott, but you know, I have not got word from anybody to see what happened.
That's crazy.
Inside 40 to go now.
Wow. This race has moved by pretty quickly. Mogart around, Rexing, so the tires on that 00 definitely playing a factor. He's very good in the center of the corner. That car tends to just roll right up on whoever he's behind now. I think he's got maybe the best chance of anybody to run down Ryan Lutz if this thing stays green. He's just going to need to get through this traffic. He cuts underneath Andy Trupiano right as I say that.
Yeah, it's just a question, though, as these guys try to fight through the traffic, how much are they using up their tires that they have on their car right now compared to someone like Ryan Lutz, who's just out for a cruise right now?
Yeah, he gets about a half a tenth each lap on Whitley.
The thing about Ryan Lutz is he's getting a half a tenth each lap while saving his tires.
Exactly.
Just, the guy is super good at this, and he's very, very good on these short tracks. He knows just how hard to push. Leininger's going to get Rexing here in 2. That'll be for 9th. Mogart going after Indelicato for 6th. Side-by-side battle. And I think Mogart's going to get Indelicato. Those fresh tires really helping the 00 claw his way through the field. I think he's back to right where he was when he pitted.
Got Cameron Rich up next. That'll be for a top 5.
Leininger cuts underneath Trupiano. That's a battle for 7th now. And Mogart cutting under Cameron Rich.
Who knows? I mean, Mogart 1.9 seconds back.
That's the car I'm watching is Jared Mogart. Damien Leininger's, I think doesn't have enough tire right now, and he did hit the wall. Mogart seems to be able to roll the bottom just a little bit better than anybody else right now, and it's just going to be tougher and tougher to get through these cars. Cameron Rich is a tough car to pass. Guy's very, very quick, very consistent. It'll be tough to pass Kwame Scott. I mean, he's our points leader.
Yeah, I just keep thinking in my head, you know, I mentioned it a few minutes ago, but just how much does it use it up once? I think he can get up there.
Trupiano around, I think.
Yep.
There it is. Caution coming out.
It looks like Damon
involved,
and
Clark involved.
I think Damien just
Peter
got into
involved.
him.
We'll see. They were
Trupiano
battling.
having a good run.
See if the 7 car is any sort of angry.
Yeah, Matthew
He was up
Weeks
on the top,
requesting a onboard camera too. It looks like he just missed it.
Who's requesting it?
Hank
Matthew
Steinmiller and
Weeks.
Zishan Dura clobbered each other for about 20th place.
Oh,
Everybody's
hold on.
pitted,
Pit
by the
stops.
way.
Pit stops.
All
The
that
accident
is
was
not.
Trupiano and Damien.
Yeah. So we'll see if we can get that after pit stops. I'll go back and take a look and see what happened there. Oh man. Trupiano's car jumped up in the air. I don't know.
Rexing and Clark stayed out.
We had 2 guys stay out with Jared Rexing and Josh Clark.
Cipriano stayed out. Probably to avoid being a lap down.
Mogart won the race off pit
Looks
road,
like 2
guys.
tires for Jared Mogart.
9.3
call right
seconds.
And Damien definitely got into the 7, although I don't know if the result should have been what it was. Once they made some contact, Trupiano's car jumped up in the air and just spun out right in the middle of the pack. So that's not the kind of physics that you expect from a little bit of side-to-side contact off the corner. If anything, there should have been a little door rub there, but no crash, and all of a sudden the 7 car jumped up on top of the wall.
So with
Wow, the 11.
Yeah, we're gonna have to watch Matthew Weeks' onboard on that one.
So real quick to set the order, it's Clark, Mogart, Lutz, Whitley, and Burrell, your top 5. We right on board here with Weeks.
Oh,
Oh man, that's impressive.
this is a separate incident.
There was the separate incident.
We nailed that drift there.
I have, I'm trying to do a little in-depth analysis on this, the 12 and the 7 running into each other, and by my view, they never touched. There was a little bit of space between their cars, and Damien's wheel was cranked dead to the left. And the 7 car still jumped up in the air anyway.
Yeah, you fight, especially on order tires, when you're on the bottom there, that tight condition is huge. You just continually push up.
Just tough. It's tough for Trupiano, and you know, yeah, Damien definitely pushing up there, but he did have the fresher tires, so he's making the move. But his car was rotating around perfectly, and that he would not have made contact with Trupiano. And then car jumped up in the air. So
one agreed. Josh Clark is your leader.
And I believe some damage, which is the thing that happened.
It looks like a car pitted. I'm not sure who it was, but Mogart was not in second. Now he is.
Yeah, you're right there, Johnny. I don't remember who it was either. I was just trying to rack my brain to see if I could come up with it too. But someone did come down pit road. We get ready to go green here. Inside 30 to go. Josh Clark leading us to the green flag.
Josh Clark has anything for him.
Ryan Lutz threading the needle early, pushing Mogart up the hill, going for the lead.
That was a power move right there.
Ryan Lutz on fresh tires.
Whitley just got in. Whitley just got in the back of Clark there. He's trying to thread it in between Burrell and Clark right now.
Burrell sideways.
Burrell. This is going to be a wreck.
Lutz at the wall. Mogart coming after Lutz.
Good job, everybody.
They're going to wreck each other, guys. They're going to wreck each other. It's going to happen.
Mogart got after Lutz. He's on the inside.
Delicato and Rich.
And he's going to come back up or no?
Oh, he held on to it.
They're trying to wreck. Cameron Rich is good.
Wow.
Whitley and Mogart make contact too. Man, everything everywhere happening.
Time Miller's being.
I know it's only 30 laps to go. The intensity's ramped up. Ethan Burrell for third. Delicato clears Leininger for sixth.
Burrell inside Mogart.
Almost more contact there.
These guys know that they're not at risk on that incident limit anymore, so the contact can fly.
Door bangs, Mark.
Yep. Short track racing coming out now. We're all way behind Ryan Lutz. Ethan Burrell's got a long way to go if he wants to.
He does it again.
And if I'm Kwame, I'm moving that 99 car, man.
We got to watch for the 77 coming up on the 99 here.
He tried to.
Overdrove it.
Oh, and he tried and he missed him.
Listen, it does not take much to get 8 incident points.
Classic Lane and Castle line, though, is you got to make sure if you try to wreck somebody, you don't wreck yourself.
You can't do that.
He's going to have another shot here, though. He's closing back in.
Mark's definitely going to be driving hard, trying to get back to him, and Kwame just not making any friends. Just not entirely sure about that strategy if I'm the points leader, man. I don't want people mad at me. I don't want people mad at me. I want people giving me breaks, giving me room.
3 wins, lots of bonus points, lots of chase points. You don't need to be doing that.
Yep, because I mean, what if somebody hangs onto that grudge for 10 races, and then you're points leader in the chase, and somebody says, "Hey, you remember Martinsville? Remember IRP?" Well, now's payback.
Yeah, you don't have to do it the next week either. You can hold on to it, like Jimmy Spencer says.
Well, he has driven away from Mark Whitley now.
Yeah, Whitley's got some damage to that right side.
This is mine. Yep.
21 to go. Ryan Lutz still got a pretty comfortable lead over Ethan Burrell out front.
We got Wyatt with 24 X's, so one more and he'll be done for the day. He's on the bubble.
Oh, somebody just blew up. 05 blew up.
Got a car blowing up here. That is Robert Hill.
Yeah, he's got to get...
I don't think he's going to make it to pit road. He's going to have to exit here. There he goes.
Good job not bringing out a caution by Robert.
You guys didn't even notice. The internet cut out there for a second.
I would also like to point out, he did some very impressive evasive driving to get out of the way. I'm going to pull up a replay here in a little bit.
So Carlos telling us that Robert Hill did a great job there to get out of the way for everybody as his car was blowing up. Here we go. He's going to pull up the replay of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty rough spot to blow up in. Attitude.
Still got clobbered by Chris Worrell, but luckily for Worrell, race is nearly over.
Yeah, I don't think he could have done much more, though. Guys, Ryan Lutz is ready to check out. He's expanded this lead by another 10th over Ethan Burrell.
Battles are for 3rd between Mogart and Kwame Scott, then for 6th between Delicato and Leininger. Mark Whitley kind of just in front of those guys. Matthew Bayuk's crept up to 8th today. Matthew Weeks has made a astounding recovery drive up to 9th. Cameron Rich to 10th. Garrett Turner to 11th.
Yeah, with all the craziness that Garrett Turner's had to get 11th, I'm sure he'll be happy with that as he just nailed the wall.
Nailed the wall again. I think Kwame Scott's going after Mogart here. Diving it down in there. Ooh, thought better of it.
Mogart takes a aggressive line there as well on the inside.
Yeah, it was a defensive line by that 00 car. He's seen what this 99 is willing to do.
Yeah.
Several times in the last couple of races.
Yeah, people pay attention. Now we're basically, guys, probably just going to see if we get that late race caution that typically happens. Just got to be aware of that. We got to watch out. Jared Campbell, I wouldn't be too happy if I was him. There's 2 lap cars in front of him that are just beating the crap out of each other. Almost brought out a caution.
Did you say Jared?
He's had a tough day. Yeah, Gerald's had a tough day. Someone just pulled off. I think it was Dylan Thomas.
No.
When Dylan Thomas, maybe it was Hank. It was Hank Steinmiller. He's sitting on the apron in turn 1. Tough break for our 5th in points driver. He did not have a good day today. Gonna be a little too late for Ethan Burrell, I think, to hunt down Ryan Lutz. Kwame Scott still going after Jared Mogart here.
Yeah, I don't think Ron's going to hit lap traffic at all, so. about 11 more clean laps, he'll be okay.
Yep, but a lot of laps for something to potentially go wrong. And a bunch of guys like this battling very hard, right nose to tail. All it takes is a little net code.
Ryan is working around Cooper Johnson right now.
Kwame to the inside of Mogart. Mogart running that preferred top line.
That was close.
Mogart still holding off that 99 car. Oh, and Delicato sideways. I think he might have gotten bumped by the 12 car. And I wonder if he'll come back after him.
8 to go for your race leader, Ryan Lutz. It's over 1.5 now, closing on 1.75 here for your race lead.
Yep, that's definitely not the closer battle on track. It's that battle for that podium spot between Scott and Mogart continuing to hold Scott up. And as he's doing that, it's drawing Mark Whitley and Damian Leininger, who are probably Kwame Scott's two least favorite people.
Arch nemesis.
Right up behind him. Couldn't go any better.
Probably why he wants to get around Mogart.
We talked about it, you know. I just don't see the logic in making enemies when you have these race wins.
Well, now he's probably trying to get around him, but doesn't want to put another guy on his list here of being against them. And I think maybe Damian's obviously a little hot from 2 weeks ago, but Mark might be a little bit hotter right now at the moment just because it's happened more recent.
Yeah, trust me, if you run with these guys long enough, you know how you've been raced in the past, and I think recency bias may not play too much of a factor. If you owe a guy one, you owe a guy one. But I think Jared Mogart might be losing it all because of Cooper Johnson right here. Here comes Kwame Scott.
That's a great thing about league racing. You get to race the same guys week after week for, not just a year, but, 4 or 5 years. You get to race the same people. So you know their tendencies.
Kwame still unable to get around Jared Mogart here with just 4 laps to go.
I don't think those guys are behind, though, are going to be able to get to him. Yeah, they might be just a couple laps off.
Leininger's pressuring Whitley. Scott is pressuring Mogart. Cooper just put it in the wall. Let him go.
3 to go.
Whitley running like a defensive bottom line here, trying to hold Damian back a little bit at this point. He's definitely lower than everybody else right now, and I don't know how well that's really working for that 77 car. Mogart still holding off Kwame Scott. Up front, it is all Ryan Lutz.
Yeah, he just navigated through 3 lap cars. He's expanded his lead up over almost 2.5 seconds now, and he's only got 2 laps left to go. Now less than that as he exits turn number 2.
He locked up the right front entering turn 1 right there. He was thinking about putting the bumper to the 00 car.
Lutz heading through 3 and 4. He's going to see the white flag in the air this time. Lead now over 2.5 seconds. Well on his way to a win.
Yep, this race will end with the checkered flag in the air. Ryan Lutz just needs to navigate 2 more corners to pick up his 2nd win of the year and really solidify himself as a championship threat to defend that title. Ethan Burrell definitely making a strong case. Ryan Lutz runs the bottom in the final corner.
Ease it on in. He's going to pick up the win here at IRP. Ryan Lutz, 2nd win of the season.
Yep. Ethan Burrell 2nd. Jared Mogart holds off Kwame Scott for 3rd. Mark Whitley picks up that 5th place finish, and then Leininger, Indelicato, Bayuk, Cameron Rich, and Andy Trupiano round out the top 10. Matthew Weeks with an 11th, Jared Rexing 12th. Michael Goodman comes home in 13th. What an impressive run for the 30 car. Dallas Myhan 14th, and Nick Massey kind of out to lunch all day long and winds up with a good 15th place run.
Yeah, it's a solid points day for Massey. Solid race all around from all these guys. That was fun to watch. Fun to watch the guys battling through lap traffic and I would have loved to have seen what Scott Crump would have had for Ryan, and I hope everything's okay with Scott.
Yeah, definitely want to find out why Scott Crump pulled off. I think that kind of sealed the race in Ryan Lutz's favor. You know, and it seemed like Crump was about the only one who could contend with the 36 car. Also in the lead laps, Zishan Dura, James Heater, Gerald Campbell. That's it. Those are your lead lap cars right there on the screen. We had enough long green flag runs to put over half the field a lap down, and man, that was a pretty good short track race. I think that went really well, actually.
That was one of the better ones ERSCA's ever put on. Looking back at since the first season of ERSCA, I think this might be, probably the best one we've had.
Yep. All right, well, we've got our guys in the waiting room here. Johnny, you want to interview him? You want me to interview him? What's
You guys can do it. I'll chirp in if I have any questions.
All right. Start with our third place finisher, Jared Mogart. Jared, it's David in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Jared, after that kind of intense battle with Kwame, did you ever think that you weren't going to be able to hold him off there, or were you just trying to be really defensive, running that top lane, or what was your kind of idea going through that final run?
Yeah, I was trying to hold him off there. I figured he was going to try and move me a little bit more than what he did. He never touched me, which kind of surprised me. He definitely was in the right to do that. So I was just trying to hold him off, get a podium for the points. But, if he got to my bumper, I was just going to let him go because we had a pretty good gap over fifth.
Jared, did you take 2 tires there on that last restart?
Yeah, I did. I could have, I don't know, like 10 laps prior to that. And, I was sitting okay. But I figured, 2 tires, so the left sides weren't really wearing, and I felt pretty comfortable with it. So I figured, 2 tires, 30 lap shootout, history with the cautions, the way they've been going the last few weeks. I figured maybe we'd back into one, but it didn't quite work out that way.
And before that, you were the car on the freshest tires. Do you think maybe if it had gone green in that other run that you were kind of passing people on the bottom, that you would have had anything for Ryan Lutz?
I kind of thought that too. Like, I got up to about 5th or 6th here. I'm like, well, we're rolling. Let's just keep this green and see what happens. But I think we got the cam, and he was kind of really racing us hard, rightfully so. And I don't know. It would have depended on how long it would have took to get by him, and how much we had to use the rear front to get by him. But it felt really good. I was kind of hoping it was going to go green to the end from there. But either way, it was a good night.
All right, Jared, well, you got any shout-outs for us before we send you off?
Yeah, I got to thank Ben at Dirt Race Central, iBuy Power Computers, Twitcher Race Reports, Spots and Go Graphics, tonight's sponsor for sponsoring the event, Johnny and everybody for putting on this deal. It's been kind of a tough year for them guys, but they've stuck with it, and as drivers, that's all you can ask for. So appreciate them for everything they do, and you guys for the broadcast, and hopefully the fans enjoyed that one. It was a fun one from the car.
All right, man. Well, thank you, Jared, and good luck next week.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Jared Mogart, our 3rd place finisher. Let's bring up our 2nd place finisher, Ethan Burrell. Ethan, David in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, buddy.
Well, Ethan, looked like you finally got up to 2nd there, and then it was kind of out of your reach by the time you got there.
Yeah, you're right. I had good speed. I qualified pretty good, and it was just crossing that threshold to kind of get out of the battle and really be able to see what you got up there. And yeah, those last couple starts, it was getting crazy, and I just needed to. I think that last restart, I just needed to get clear out to 2nd quicker, and then maybe I could have hung a little closer to Lutz, maybe close enough to try to make something happen. But he jumped out there, and I gave it everything I had those last 20 laps or whatever it was. But it was a good win by him.
Yeah, Ethan, take me through though your your kind of season so far. I mean, we kind of took up the points lead or the point standings at the beginning of the race, and so for surprise to find you in 4th, and a 2nd place run means you're only gonna move up from there. Are you kind of surprised that you've had as good of a season as you had, or are you expecting that you should have won some races by now?
I am kind of surprised. I felt like I thought I had pretty good speed in the COTs. I really just wasn't getting the results. I wasn't doing a good job in qualifying in those races, and it definitely translated to results, I think, because you get kind of stuck in the mess. And I think I saw a stat. I only haven't ran 2 laps this season, so even though I was kind of getting smacked around in a lot of the races earlier in the season, I was still at least finishing. So that gave me a decent platform to start out with these Xfinity cars, and these cars are my bread and butter. So I was pretty excited for the switch over, and yeah, hopefully we can keep the momentum going. But no, I agree with you. I was pretty surprised that I was as good in the points as I was.
Next couple races are at Las Vegas and Michigan. Do you think you'll be up front contending for the wins there as well?
Oh, I sure hope so. That I got a smile on my face when you name those tracks. Those are 2 of my favorite ovals. They're high up my list. So I love running those racetracks. I know I've won at Michigan here in ERSCA before. So I'll give it my best shot. Show up ready, and I'm starting to get the itch. I got to get back in victory lane.
All right, man. Well, you got any shout outs for us here before we send you off?
Yeah, all the guys at Pro Edge Racing. A lot of those guys had a up and down night tonight. Shout out to my grandma Betty, my mom for watching, and thanks to you guys for putting on the broadcast for us, and Anthony Ludi at 213simware.com for providing me and a bunch of other drivers with some cool merch. So yeah, thanks to everybody, and you too, Johnny, for running the show for us.
Heck yeah.
All right, Ethan. Well, thank you, and have a good night. Good luck next week.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Ethan Burrell, our second place finisher. And now let's bring in Ryan Lutz, the race winner. Ryan, congratulations, man. And you looked pretty dominant out there today.
Yeah, it was a good car. When I seen this race on the schedule, I was jumping for joy. I knew we just had to execute and just be patient all day and save tires and see where we stacked up there.
Lutzy, looked like about the only guy that could run with you was Scott Crump. Once he got out of the race, did you your eyes kind of light up? Did you know it was going to be your time?
No, I mean, I kind of felt bad about it. I like Crump. We raced really well together, and I knew we had a better car to them. I mean, I played with him a lot in the beginning of the race just to see where his speed was and what his pace was, and compared it to ours. And I know we had a better long run car than he did, so I was just kind of on that really long run of just playing with him and really waiting for him to get back to me to see where he was hurting compared to me and go from there. But I would have liked to seen him not pull off. I wish I would have beat him, straight up. I know I obviously think I could have, but it was definitely an opportunity to capitalize on, and that's what we did.
And take us through some of those, moments with the lapped cars where you were running 2 and 3 wide. I think even your race-winning move, you had to cut 3 wide between Mogart and Clark. So, how about balancing that aggression with saving those tires all throughout this race? Was that on your mind at all, or were you just thinking, got to make passes, got to get to the front?
No, I definitely. It's definitely a good question, but I think this track's really hard to pass, and the only way to do it is to be super aggressive and to fire it in on the bottom and just kind of slide up, and hopefully you're clear, and hopefully they're not next to you. And I knew we had to get to the front, and I'm always good up front. That's where I'm the most comfortable out in the lead, and I can really manage my tires the best out in clean air and see where that guy in seconds is better than me or worse than me. And I think that last restart, it was crucial to get to the point as quick as you could, and kind of just set your own pace and see where you fall there. And it was a couple of them was pretty sketchy a couple of the times. So it was 3 wide middle on lap cars. Hopefully everyone did a great job. ERSCA's one of the best, leagues on iRacing, and Johnny does a great job. So I knew I had a lot of trust in everyone.
Yep. Well, Ryan, the last thing here would be the schedule coming up: Las Vegas and Michigan. Are you looking forward to those races to continue your hunt to get back into the playoffs and defend this championship?
Yeah, I think those are two good tracks for us. As long as Michigan would stay away from the 12 car, I think we'll be fine. I think Vegas is a good track for us to finish second last year, and Michigan. I love Michigan, so that's a good racetrack for us, and I'm really looking forward to the chase, and hopefully we can go 2 for 2 here.
That sounds good, man. We got any shout outs for us before we send you off?
Yeah, just everyone at ERSCA, you, Johnny, Dom, David, Carlos, you guys do a great job. It's always good to look back at broadcasts and watch it with a smile. Thanks to Damian Leininger, Baffling Podcast. He always is a big supporter of mine. Ryan Kuhn set up shop. Everyone at Apex, you, Johnny, for putting on an awesome league. Just everyone here, man. It's definitely cool to come out here Mondays and race with all these great guys.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Yep. Well, congratulations, Ryan, on your win, and good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thanks, man.
Race winner Ryan Lutz. So there lies another ERSCA race. Guys, your thoughts? I think that was a pretty clean race.
Yeah, I'm excited to be up here. I don't know when I'm going to get another chance to come up here. Probably we might be looking at Indianapolis in a few weeks. But yeah, I felt like the racing was clean, and that was our goal when we came into IRP tonight. Not so much. I don't know if it was the track, if it was the new rule, what. Time will tell regarding that. But had fun up here, guys.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it went a lot better than what I was expecting, especially with what we've gone through in the last 2 years with short track racing and having a lot of cautions, and really kept it clean. It was very exciting to see some long green flag stretches, and especially into some lap traffic. But I think the biggest thing is we go back, in the top 2 from last year are back up here 1-2 once again. Maybe this is a thing to turn their season around and we get back to seeing those dominating performances we saw last year.
Yep. I think through all of that, Kwame Scott will still be the points leader with another top 5 run today, and these guys are going to keep chasing the guy with who's already got 3 wins. But we did finally get our second duplicate winner this year, as Ryan Lutz takes home IRP. For Carlos Acosta, Dom Santina, Johnny Thomas, and 3Y TV, ERSCA, Belly Up Sports. This is has David Westergreen, and it's been a pleasure. Everybody have a good night.